Hey folks, BlackCross here, and welcome back to another video game review, guys. Guys, I have to be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't for sure if I was going to be able to make review videos for a while, because the last two reviews that I tried to do, I just couldn't make them for some reason. I don't know why. I played a number of games, but the weird thing is that I don't know why, I just had a hard time putting together these reviews, because when you try to do a review, you want to be able to be as in-depth as possible. But by the time you finally get done playing the game, there's really no major notes to talk about them, sadly. So it's one of those things where it's like, they end up being shorter than expected. So I just decided, instead of just having single videos for these particular reviews, I'm just going to combine them both into one big review video. So technically, in like the last couple of months, I played 3 games. One of them being that of Vanquish. Vanquish is a Platinum game that was released under Sega, and I played through Vanquish. I was wanting to play it for a long while because a friend of mine had played through it, and he said it was really fun, and I just wanted to finally dive into it. Of course, obviously I played through the Bayonetta and Vanquish combo pack, the 10th anniversary, and after playing through Vanquish, I can honestly say it's a really fun game. It's very entertaining, and I very enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed the mechanic that it has, where it's basically a dash move, and then you also have the fact that you have the slow motion depending on your dodge and everything of that nature. I actually really enjoyed that. The game can be really short, though. That's the biggest thing. I feel like the game is just really short. There's only 5 acts, and even though each act has a different segment that goes on in that chapter, ultimately each one is just kind of like a battle situation and stuff like that. And so depending on how you go through the game, you can get through it relatively quickly. I went through it on the normal, and really it wasn't that bad of an experience. I did die quite a bit of it, but most of it was mostly me being an idiot, thinking to myself, oh, I could just dash through it, only to realize one-shot kills. But it was a really fun and entertaining game, and in my personal opinion, I feel like if you want to try this game out, if you're a fan of Bayonetta and you wanted to try Vanquish, the 10th anniversary bundle is actually a really good thing to have, especially since, you know, Bayonetta has been bought by Nintendo, and, you know, Bayonetta 2 and 3 has both been released on the Nintendo brand. But I played Bayonetta before years ago, and I really enjoyed that one. So to have finally played through Vanquish and enjoyed it as well, it's another reason to want to play through this game as well. It's really fun in my personal opinion. Another game that I recently played through was Epic Mickey Rebrush. This one is of course a remaster. I can't remember if it's specifically a remaster or a remake. I keep forgetting, but ultimately it's a re-release of Epic Mickey that was released on the Wii. And I remember playing it on the Wii that I enjoyed the game, but I also enjoyed how well the motion controls were during that time, because at the time motion controls was still somewhat fairly new, so in some cases sometimes the motion controls were like spot on, in some cases they wasn't always good. Epic Mickey was that particular game where the motion controls were just really good and they flowed really well with the gameplay. But here we are in a new generation and a new release of Epic Mickey, being that of Epic Mickey Rebrush. What do I think of it? It's really good. I really have no major complaints about it. It's just a really good remaster of the original. I had a really good time with Epic Mickey, and it's just one of those things where it's like, the weird thing is that while I was playing through it, I played 3 different playthroughs. The first one was playing it for the good ending, the second one was playing it for the bad ending, and the third one was mostly just to finish up on trophies. I did platinum it finally, and well, the weird thing is that after the first playthrough, when I went through the other 2 cycles, I did it kind of like speed through it, but the weird thing is I wasn't like speeding like in a hurry. I was just kind of going through it fast. And the weird thing too is that I had a very relaxing time with Epic Mickey Rebrush. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed all the different references, all the different cartoons that they had put into it and everything like that. It was just really fun and entertaining in my personal opinion. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you've never played through Epic Mickey, you should definitely give Epic Mickey Rebrush a good try. It's really fun in my personal opinion, and especially if you want to try it, there is a demo out available. The bad thing is, though, is that on the Switch version, there are no motion controls, which is a shame because I was actually kind of excited to hear if Epic Mickey Rebrush was going to have motion controls for the Switch, but it did not, sadly. But that's unfortunate. But the good thing is that it still plays good, despite the fact that it was a Wii exclusive title. And being released on modern consoles without motion controls, it still feels relatively good in my personal opinion. The final thing that I want to talk about, and it's one that I really didn't get to beat, because by the time I got through like the third area, I just didn't care much for it. And that is Final Fantasy Tactics. Which is unfortunate, because I know there's been a lot of people who told me that Final Fantasy Tactics was really good. I wish I could say that it was, but the sad thing is, I didn't really care much for it. I know I played it on the PSP at the time, but then I also tried playing it on the PlayStation 1, which is the one that I did play through. I just didn't care much for it, sadly. There wasn't really anything bad, it's just, there's two big things that I have a problem with it. One is the fact that the map area itself is kind of weird how it's set up. I mean, I get how it is supposed to play, but it feels kind of weird and it feels kind of awkward based on the camera angle that you're given and stuff like that. I've had to mess around with it just to see if I can get it to look better. And the best that I can look is where you're kind of somewhat looking overhead in a way, rather than kind of like diagonal or directional, or however way you look at it, whatever perspective it is. I tried to put it overhead, but it's not completely overhead, it's just kind of at an angle, and things just kind of block the way, like rocks and stuff of that nature, and I just didn't really care much for that. The other thing too is that after the third main battle, once you get to the fourth one, it bumps up the difficulty, like absolutely insanely stupid. And it's one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know if I could play through the entire game knowing that there was that difficulty spike. Like, it was insanely stupid in my personal opinion. And it's a shame too. I like tactical RPGs, but Final Fantasy Tactics was not that good, sadly. I know maybe it probably could have gotten better if I gotten more party members, more different job classes and stuff of that nature. But at the current moment in time right now, I just didn't care much for it, and I just didn't want to bother with it, sadly. So yeah, those are 3 games that I had technically played through, and 2 of them I have beaten. Of the 2 that I have played through, if I had to give a personal review, Vanquish I would give a 4 out of 5, mostly because of how short it is. And depending on how deep you want to go into the game, like, yeah, there are multiple difficulties, there's a lot of collectibles that you can get and stuff of that nature, but the biggest thing is just maxing out the guns. So that's probably the biggest thing that you'll want to do in terms of playing through Vanquish. Epic Mickey, I would easily give it a 5 out of 5. There's no difficulty curve. There's just a lot of remembering where to collect stuff and how much collectible there is. Ultimately, you can do everything in the game, and you can get everything and all that stuff in one playthrough. You're not going to be able to get both endings, sadly, so you will end up having to play through a second playthrough and stuff like that. But if you enjoy collectathons, and if you enjoy playing through the game, this is actually probably one of the most relaxing game experiences that I have ever had playing a game for a long while. This was just relaxing. This was really fun and enjoyable, in my personal opinion. And of course, this is coming from a Disney nut here, so take it for what it is. But if you enjoy Disney and you enjoy Mickey Mouse, Epic Mickey is really fun in my personal opinion, so definitely give it a shot. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys later.